The hexagon test is used to test agility. Agility is one's ability to move quickly and easily. The hexagon test uses jumping in a set pattern to assess agility. The population that would most likely be undergoing this test is a high-performance athlete whose sport requires a large amount of agility to be successful. An example of this type of athlete would be a football running back. The hexagon test has a high level of reliability, and because of this, it is used often to track any increases in an athlete's agility performance.
To create the hexagon, you'll need to measure 6 pieces of tape to be 2 feet in length. Next, you'll need to create a 120-degree angle at each point where the 2 sides intersect. Once all 6 sides are connected, you are ready to begin testing. For the setup of this test, the administrator will need a stopwatch, tape measure, athletic tape, and an area of flat, level ground to make the hexagon. The best location to do the test would be on a gym floor. However, as you can see in the video, it can be done on any flat surface. Also, the stopwatch on your phone or watch will work just as well as a freestanding stopwatch. When administering the hexagon test, as you would with any other test, it is important to ensure that the subject fully understands the steps of the test prior to beginning. Start by explaining that the subject will need to complete a warm-up prior to completing the test. This warm-up should consist of some light jogging and other leg stretches. Once the subject has finished warming up their muscles, it is time to start the test. The subject has to start in the middle of the hexagon and jump back and forth over each line. While doing this, they must keep their feet together and face forward. The full revolution must be completed 3 times to get the subject's score. The hexagon test is fairly simple and straightforward. However, there are a few different places that mistakes can occur. The administrator can cause error by stopping or starting the stopwatch incorrectly, or by creating the hexagon incorrectly. There is also room for error with the subject. Any number of things can cause the test to be an inaccurate representation of the athlete's agility skills. Some of these errors are stepping on the line, changing the direction from forward facing, losing balance, or taking an extra step. Most of these errors can be avoided if the directions of the test are clear prior to starting.
To determine an athlete's score for the hexagon test, you will need to have the subject complete the test 3 times and then average those. It's important that the subject goes in the same direction on all 3 attempts to get the most accurate score. Once the administrator has determined the average, they can then classify the athlete into their respective category.
Once you have the athlete's average time, take that number and find where it fits into the table. For example, Mikaela's score was 15.69 seconds, which put her in the average category for females. It is important to remember that this test is primarily used to test athletes. Another use for the hexagon test is to have the subject complete the test going in either direction on the hexagon. This can be done to determine whether or not the athlete has any imbalances in their agility. If the 2 scores differ by more than half a second, then there are some imbalances present.